Hello and welcome to Soso Kids Channel. It's me, and if you're new here, say hi. We have fun every day with songs, stories, and art. Today we're going to make a flip book and tell a bedtime story. The story is called Penny the Penguin's First Flight. Once upon a time in a faraway land, nestled between snowy mountains and glistening glaciers lived a penguin named Penny. Now, Penny wasn't just any penguin. No siree. Penny had a dream, a big dream. You know, the kind that takes you higher than the northern lights or lower than the Southern Cross. Penny wanted to fly. Yeah, you heard right. A penguin who wanted to fly. That was Penny. Now you might be asking, why did she want to fly? Well, to be honest, she just did. Every evening when the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, Penny would gaze at the birds soaring high above her, their wings catching the wind, their feathers ruffled by the breeze. Oh, how she wished she could join them, to feel the wind beneath her own wings as she glided through the air. Now her mama always said, "Penny, darling, penguins can't fly." Her papa would waddle up to her and say, "You can swim, dive and slide, but flying, that's for the birds." All the other penguins would honk and toot and say, "Penguins don't fly. They waddle, they slide and they dive. Flying's for the birds." But Penny couldn't help it. She had this dream, you know, the one that takes you higher than the northern lights or lower than the Southern Cross. So Penny decided she would build herself a pair of wings so she could fly. Now she tried everything. She tried making wings out of pebbles and twigs. Only those were heavy and brought her down with a crash. She tried making wings out of ice, but those just melted under the sun. Then she had an idea. You know, the kind that makes your eyes pop wide open, your heart thump hard in your chest, and your tummy do a flip-flop. She would make wings from seashells and fish scales. Oh yes, that was perfect. Penny collected hundreds of shiny seashells, carefully scraped the scales off some colorful fish, and using strong seaweed for thread, she stitched the shells and scales together, making two beautiful wings. They shimmered and shone, catching the sunlight and scattering it in 1,000 different directions. Penny was so happy. At last, she had her wings, the most beautiful wings she had ever seen. But now she needed to practice flying. Now she had a problem. You see, all the penguins flew except her, so no one could teach her how to fly. So what did she do? Well, she practiced, of course. She took her wings and flapping them as hard as she could, flapped and flapped and flapped. All the other penguins gathered around, chuckling and having a good time at Penny's expense. But Penny didn't care. She loved splashing in the water, but she still wanted to fly. Oh, how she wanted to fly. Then one day, Penny woke up to something strange. The wind was howling, snow was swirling, and the sky was filled with the grayest clouds she had ever seen. A big snowstorm was coming. Penny looked at her beautiful shimmering wings and had another one of those ideas, You know, the kind that makes your eyes pop wide open, your heart thump hard in your chest, and your tummy do a flip-flop. She would use her wings to help her friends. Yes, that's what she would do. As the storm raged on, the penguins huddled together for warmth. Suddenly, a little penguin chick named Pip waddled too close to the edge of the iceberg. The wind snatched him up and sent him tumbling through the air. "Help!" he cried as he slid down the slippery ice. Without a moment's thought for her own safety, Penny spread her wings and glided across the ice, scooping Pip up in her flippers. Safe at last! The other penguins cheered. Penny flew, just in her own way, from that day on. The other penguins didn't tease Penny for wanting to fly. Instead, they admired her courage and kindness. As for Penny, well, she continued to practice her flying, sliding, crashing and tumbling until one day she found her way, her own special way of flying. See, we all fly differently. Some of us soar high above the clouds. Some of us glide through the air like graceful birds. And some of us, well, we find our way in other ways. But that's okay because we all fly, even if we don't have wings. Because believing in yourself is the greatest adventure of all. The end. Thank you for listening to our bedtime story. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Soso Kids Channel. Sweet dreams and bye-bye. Now it's time to make a flip book. To make a flip book, you will need a sheet of paper, a pencil, a ruler, and a pair of scissors. First, fold your paper in half lengthwise. Open it up and then fold it in half again, making sure you crease it well. Open it back up and draw a penguin on one side and a bird on the other side. Now fold that side in so the images are hidden. This will be the cover of your flipbook. Next, unfold your flipbook and divide the center section into 6 equal parts using your ruler and pencil. Make sure to erase any pencil marks from the cover. Now open the flipbook like a book and start drawing a picture for each page. You can draw Penny the penguin practicing her flying, sliding, crashing and tumbling. Or you can draw the other penguins watching her, or maybe you can draw Pip the little penguin chick. When you're done, color your pictures. Now fold the bottom section up so that it looks like a little booklet. Cut off the excess paper on the side using your scissors, keeping the cuts even. Now when you open and close the flipbook, it will flip through the pages like magic. It's time for bed. Let's review what we learned today. What was the name of the story we read? The story was called Penny the Penguin's First Flight. Can you say that again? The story was called Penny the Penguin's First Flight. What was Penny's dream? Penny's dream was to fly. Do you have a dream that you want to achieve? Talk about it with your grown-up. What did Penny use to make wings? Penny used seashells and fish scales. What did you like best about the story? Maybe it was when Penny rescued Pip from the wind, or maybe it was when the other penguins cheered for her. Talk about it with your grown-up. Review the actions with me. Fly like a bird. Soar through the air. Slide and glide on the ice. Crash and tumble. Roll and swoop. Splash in the water, dive and twirl, leap and twirl in the air, flip, flap and swoop. That's great. Give yourself a round of applause. You've learned and practiced many different actions. You can use these actions for art, music, dramatic play, and movement activities. It's time for bed now. Close your eyes. Think of a kind act you can do tomorrow and dream of flying. Sweet dreams.